She expected a reaction, a tremble in your voice, a desperate text, some proof that she still held power, but you gave her nothing. No rage, no retaliation, just silence. A silence so complete, so immovable, it became a mirror she could no longer escape. Not because you're cold, but because you've seen the fire before, and this time, you chose not to burn. We are not men who seek vengeance in chaos. We've buried that version of ourselves. We've outgrown the noise, because silence, that is where the strong are forged. She doesn't understand it, because the world never taught her what true strength looks like when it's quiet. She thought the loudest man was the most wounded. She thought begging meant you cared. But we know better. We learned from pain not to flinch. We learned from loss not to grasp. We learned from betrayal that some storms are best endured, not fought. As Epictetus warned, when something happens, the only thing in your power is your attitude toward it. So we shaped ours into steel, not for show, but for survival. She's haunted now, not by words, but by the weight of their absence. Because your silence did something her beauty never prepared her for, it refused to orbit her gravity. And now, in the vacuum left behind, her mind fills the void. She replays the conversations, the way you used to look at her, the way your presence used to calm the war inside her. But now, you are no longer a battlefield. You are the mountain, and she no longer knows the way up. This is not about pride. It's not about punishing her. It's about protecting your peace. We've learned, as Marcus Aurelius said, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. So we did not mirror the chaos. We became the silence that reveals it. This is the new law of power. When you no longer respond, you become unforgettable. Not because you vanished, but because you didn't chase. Because you stopped proving your worth. Because you let her sit with what she shattered. She expected you to fight for her, but you chose to fight for yourself. Understand this. Every time you refuse to fold, to beg, to bleed just to keep someone who let go of your soul, you reclaim another inch of your self-respect. That quiet dignity, that's the death of her control. That's what haunts her at night. She walks around pretending she's fine, posting, smiling, moving on. But we know how the mind eats itself when it no longer has your attention to feed on. She'll wonder what you're thinking, where you are, who you're becoming. And the truth? You're not becoming anything. You already are. She just didn't see it, until you stopped trying to show her. As Seneca wrote, "No man is crushed by misfortune unless he has first been deceived by prosperity." You were deceived once believing love meant losing yourself. Now you know. Mastery isn't in control over others. It's in control over yourself. And this silence? It's the sound of you rising. So let her wonder. Let her feel the gravity of your absence. Let her discover what it means when a man chooses himself. Because in the end, we don't chase what collapses under pressure. We stand in the ruins. We rebuild in the dark. We return only when we're whole. And by then, we don't return for them. We return for the throne inside ourselves. The one we almost forgot was ours. This is the way. Not loud, not reactive, but deliberate, measured, unmoved. The path of fire walked in silence. The art of war waged without a word. The kind of strength they never see coming. Until it's already gone. We said nothing. Now she hears everything.